Aloha and good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming. Welcome to the briefing on the missile defense system of the United States.
When CNN needs missile defense, they call up Riki. When Fox News needs someone to comment on missile defense, they call Riki. He's also done work for our government as an NGO in Eastern Europe when they want to put up missile sites, but they don't want the government going in there. They call Riki because he's a civilian. That said, he has access to very high levels of information and briefings with the highest levels of government on missile defense. So he bleeds cardinal and gold, I believe. Ladies and gentlemen, Riki Ellison.
Hey. Welcome. Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here tonight. We just had a rocket test, as Gina mentioned, that went off. We have the Japanese ship. It's our third Japanese Congo-class ship that's come here to Hawaii to get outfitted with missile defense system. It's an Aegis system, similar to our ships that we have. It launched its SM-3 missiles, both the SM-3-2s, the SM-2s and the SM-3s. And we'll know pretty quickly in the next couple of minutes if they were successful or not with this missile.
Just got an email that says, great night at a PMRF. I don't have details yet. I'm trying to get down to it, so it looks like the shot was a success. Good sign.
That's the Japanese shot. With their system, they're going to be able to go back home. They patrol those ships in the seas to protect their country and their population. That this system has its limits. And this system is specifically to be able to defend our forward-based troops overseas. The system is specifically designed to protect our allies and friends. But most importantly, we have to protect the homeland of the United States of America. And at this point, the only system that we have for that is the ground-based interceptors based in Alaska and in Vandenberg, California, that were put on full alert earlier this year to protect the state of Hawaii against the North Korean threat, and is a system that we need to continue to maintain and modernize as we go forward. The President has made a decision to reduce that capability by 32%, which does put our nation at a little higher risk than it should be, and certainly here in Hawaii than it should be, until we develop another system that can compromise or that can take that system's place. So we as an organization are concerned about that. We want to make sure that our homeland is protected as equally or even more so than our allies, friends, and our troops based overseas. So I'd like to just walk through a couple slides with you and sort of explain to you why we need missile defense and what exactly do we have and what you as taxpayers have bought in place today to defend our country, our people, our allies, our friends, and our forces overseas. These are the countries that possess, we got 34 countries that have ballistic missiles. And as we look in the future and as we look recently, countries are moving towards having this kind of offensive capability because it's cheaper than maintaining air forces. The air forces, they are 3 or 4 generations behind us. In technology, they can't compete, they can't deter with that kind of capability. So many of the nations are now moving towards having an offensive ballistic capability to project force overseas or for their national security. So we're seeing a tremendous growth in that area. There are 9 declared countries in the world today that have nuclear weapons. We know that if Iran moves forward with a nuclear weapon, that there will be a temptation by the countries in the Middle East to either nuclearize themselves up very fast and very quickly, or go into a preemptive military conflict with Iran to get rid of those nuclear weapons. We know that North Korea has a nuclear weapon. I think one of the biggest concerns our president faces today is the proliferation of nuclear weapons. So we believe strongly that missile defense stabilizes these countries and allies that we have so that they don't need to go nuclear. And I think we've done a perfect case with what we've done with North Korea, with South Korea and Japan. We have given them enough defense in terms of our short range, long range, and medium range missile defense capability that they feel that they are protected. They feel that they don't have to go nuclear. These are the systems that we have in place today, and I want to just walk through it. We in 2002 were not allowed to have missile defense. We signed an anti-ballistic missile treaty with the Russians that did not allow it to happen. When 9/11 happened, our government withdrew from that treaty to allow us to have missile defense capability. And we did that because we felt that having a huge offensive nuclear force doesn't deter small countries from attacking the United States of America. And that's why we moved forward with it. In 2002, the President made a decision to withdraw from the treaty and made a decision to move forward with missile defense. In 2004, we had our first deployed system in place. And it was a ground-based interceptor, which is up in Alaska. We have about 22 of those missiles today that are in Alaska, protecting you here in Hawaii. They're at the top of the globe, so as like missiles or like planes, they're going to fly over the globe, over the North Pole to come down. So we want our defenses as far forward as possible, and that was the best spot that we could do that gives us the ample coverage to be able to have a shot, not just one shot, up to 3 or 4 shots, so we can look, shoot, look, shoot, look. So our capability now goes from, say, 80% to 90 in the high 90s to give us high confidence because we have multiple shots to be able to take down a ballistic missile. One of them is in England, another one of them is in Greenland. Those 2 radars protect the United States, the eastern United States of America. Those 2 radars are vulnerable because if you do a salvo launch, you're going to strike those radars first, and then you're going to come in. Those radars have to be protected. Your radars here in Shimnia, in Alaska and Beale are protected by the ground-based interceptors. They can protect those radars. These radars are not protected. And the reason why we had a 3rd site in Europe was specifically to protect those radars and protect the eastern United States of America, not our allies and our troops overseas. That was a secondary position. So what we've done is now we've taken the European site out, and we are leaving those radars vulnerable, and we're leaving our eastern United States much more at risk than the western United States of America. There is talk about that if the threat comes sooner than it's going to be, we're going to reopen the negotiations back up with Poland to put those GBIs back in there. I don't know if that's what I've been hearing as we go forward, but we have to protect the eastern United States of America. That's my, number one. Our question is whether we want to, this is where I'm struggling with it, because you have 2 choices here. Either you deny that capability to them right now, or you learn to live with a nuclearized Iran. We've learned to live with a nuclearized North Korea. Are we going to be able to live with a nuclearized Iran? And if we are, we have to have missile defense. We have to have a lot of it, and we have to have it with all those countries. Because if we don't, you're going to have 15 countries in 6 months to a year get nuclear, like that. And then you have an uncontrollable situation. My son plays for Southern Cal.
Yeah, Red Ellison.
My boy has, and I played with Joe Montana for 7 years. And when I played at SC, Bob had mentioned I never lost to Notre Dame. And then I got to the 49ers, and we never beat Notre Dame. So I was wearing green outfits for 7 years. Since that time, my son plays for USC, and he's never lost against Notre Dame. So we're carrying that tradition. Bob, thank you for this. I don't think it fits Charlie Weiss, though, but I appreciate it.
I have a feeling Joe Montana's going to end up with that shirt.
I appreciate the thought. That was a nice gesture. Thank you.
Finally, thank you, Representative Sagan, for sponsoring this and watching over
And the public.
your place in Navy League, public government. Thank you for bringing it, Riki, and for you, the public, to make the difference.